This story is titled Bruised Soul. It is a story about a searing trauma of abandonment, the heavy chains of bitterness, and a terrifying, beautiful moment when we realize that the person we hate most might be the only one who can carry us home. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe so that you can get more interesting stories and movies like this. 20 years ago, a massive fire has swept through the tenements. In the chaos, a young boy named Elias was left behind. He survived by crawling into a cast iron bathtub while the world turned into an oven around him. He emerged with scars that looked like white lightning across his face and chest, but the deepest scars were on his soul. His father, a man named Thomas, has been seen running from the building alone. The town never forgot it, and Elias never forgave it. Elias grew up to be a man of silence and stone. He became a blacksmith, slamming his hammer against glowing metal as if he were trying to kill the memory of that night. He hated the sun because it was too bright. He hated the church because they preached about a heavenly father. He said to himself, if a father on earth leaves his son to burn, Elias would grow. Why will a father in heaven be any different? He lived in a small shack on the edge of the cliff alone. His companion was his rage. He fed it every day, keeping it hot like his forge. He wanted to associate himself with a lot of people because he never trusted anyone. He never wanted to marry. He never had a relationship with anybody because he was broken. He was always feeling that trauma of that incident. It never left his mind. And many people run away from him, even those who think that they could, console him and remove the tragic moment from his mind. All were to no avail. One winter, a plague struck Blackwood. It was a shivering, wasting sickness. Among the victims was an old beggar who has collapsed in the square. No one wanted to touch him, fearing the contagion. The town constable knocked on Elias' door. Elias, the old man in the square, we found his papers. It's Thomas. It's your father. Elias didn't move. His heart, which has burned cold ember for 2 decades, suddenly flared into a wildfire. Let the crows have him, Elias said, his voice like a grinding gravel. He left me in the fire. Let him die in the cold. But that night, a storm rolled in. The wind wailed like a shield in a burning building. Elias couldn't sleep. The trauma he had buried, the smell of smoke, the sound of his own screaming came rushing back. He found himself walking towards the town square, a heavy lantern in his hands. He found Thomas huddled under a thin canvas. The man was skeletal, his breathing a wet, ragged rattle. Elias looked down at the face he spent 20 years cursing. He wanted to spit on him. He wanted to go away. But as the lantern light hit the old man's hand, Elias stopped. Thomas' hands were not skin. They were a gnarled, twisted mass of melted flesh, far from the Elias' own scars. They were the hands of someone who has reached into furnace and stayed there. Confused and trembling with a new kind of terror, Elias lifted the old man and carried him in his back to his shack. 3 days, Elias nursed the man he hated. On the 4th night, Thomas opened his eyes. He looked at Elias, at the white lightning scars on his son's face, and began to weep. It wasn't a soft cry. It was a guttural, traumatic sob of a man who has been dying of guilt for 20 years. I didn't run away, Elias. The old man whispered, his voice a ghost of a sound. I saw you, Elias screamed, the hammer of his rage finally falling. I saw you run out from the front door while I was trapped. I ran out because the door was barred from the outside. Thomas gasped, clutching Elias' sleeve with his ruined hands. I ran out to break the window of the back room. I spent 10 minutes in the flame, tearing the iron bar off the window with my bare hands so the smoke would clear, so you could breathe until the rafters fell. The firemen dragged me away just as the roof collapsed. I thought you were dead. I spent my life wandering because I couldn't bear to see the town where I failed to save my son. The trauma of the truth was more violent than the trauma of the lie. Elias realized that for 20 years he has been worshipping a lie. He hated a man who has literally burned his hands to bone to give his son a few more seconds of oxygen. Elias fell to his knees by the bed. He felt the weight of his own bitterness, the years he has wasted on hate, the way he has treated God as an enemy. He saw the gospel for the first time, not as a story in a book, but in the ruined hands of his father. You stayed in the fire, Elias whispered. I never left you, Thomas replied. I was just on the other side of the wall, trying to get you in. Thomas died that night. He died in a warm bed, held by the son who has finally come home. He buried him on the cliffside. He didn't go back to his forge. He realized that God wasn't a spectator, watching us burn. He was the one who entered the furnace of humanity, taking the fire into his own flesh that we could breathe. Elias eventually returned to the church in Blackwood. He walked up to the altar and knelt. He didn't ask for his scars to be removed. He didn't ask for lost years back. He simply held out his hands, the hands that has once swung a hammer of hate, and offered them to the Father who has been tearing down the bars of hate for 20 years. The ash boy was gone. In his place was a man who knew the most beautiful thing in the world isn't a life without fire, but a life that has been walked through the flames by someone who loves you. I know the story was interesting. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share. Bye.